Today we'll be reviewing RTX 5080 lineup to find out which card is worth buying based on the card quality, and we'll be also making our decision based on the prices too. And in this case, the first card is Asus RTX 5080 Astral OC, which currently has an MSRP of 1500, which is too high at this moment of time, which is the February 2025. But if you are watching this video at later date, maybe, or in different countries, maybe the price will be different, and in that case maybe it will be interesting buy. So now let's go ahead and see what kind of temperatures this card has. So we can see that it has a dual BIOS, the regular BIOS. It has a reasonable noise level, a little bit high, 36.3. The GPU temperature 62 degrees and the memory 66 is pretty reasonable. But again, the noise level is a little bit high, so I'm recommending to use the MSI Afterburner to a little bit decrease the fan RPM. So not to have like the temperatures like in the quiet BIOS, but something in the middle, maybe like 65, 66, and have like 33 or 32 dB, which will be almost silent. It has a ball bearing fan types, which is very good. Now let's go and see the normalized temperatures for this card. So here we can see that they are putting the number 35 dB for 360 watts. But if we go and see the power consumption for this card, we can see that in the gaming session, this card consumes 388. So this is a little bit tuned down power limit. That's why it's having 61.2 degrees, when with the 36 dB noise level with higher RPM, it having 62, because it's measured in 388 versus 360. So I made adjustment, and by my assumptions, it should be normalized with the same 388 watts. It should be around 63 degrees, which is again quite good. And again, you can, I said, tune a little bit down and make like this 35, like 32, and have here like 66, which is quite reasonable. The card is huge. It has a 350 millimeters length, 150 at 80, and it weighs like 2.9 kilograms. So it's not the card for the RTX build, but again, you can take the shroud off, put some fans, maybe you can fit it in your mini RTX case. Now let's have a look on the component quality. So here we can say that they are using MPS VRM chips, which is the top tier quality. It's using 20 phases for the GPU, which is quite high. If we'll compare with other cards, we can see this is the highest number of VRM chips, so they should heat up a little bit less, as the load will be less. Now let's have a look on the quality of cooling of that components, which again, this column, it's in the cooling section, and it shows the component cooling. The component quality by itself is this column. As we can see in this generation, at least all these cards, they are using top tier components for VRM chips, which will go back and have a look on the 4080 Super. We can see only two companies are using the top tier 4080 regular one. Only one card is using top tier, but in 5080 all the cards, they have same component for the GPUs. Maybe there will be different components for the memory VRM chips, but for GPU VRM chips they are using the same, and only the difference is the quantity of that chips. So our Asus has the highest number of VRM chips. It has the highest power limit besides the Gigabyte, which has 450, and also it has the highest price. But now let's have a look at the component cooling quality. For that reason, we have to open this photo and go and inspect the cooling of the chips. So here we can see 1, 2, this whole group of VRM chips, and this VRM chips has a direct contact with the heatsink, which is very good. Obviously all memory chips has a direct contact with the heatsink, but the VRM chokes, they are being cooled only by the air, as there is no thermal pads connected to them to the heatsink. So only for that reason it's getting the good rating instead of very good. So what I can say, it's a very good card. It has reasonable noise level. You can adjust it to have it even lower, but the price is not right. Again, with this price, I cannot recommend this card for the buying. Now the next card which we'll be reviewing is a colorful RTX 5080 Vulcan OC. It has an MSRP of 1300. Again, it's a little bit high, and like if you search a little bit, you can find 4090 used one for this price, which will be much better buy. But again, let's go and have a look at the temperatures. Temperatures are pretty good. 61, 66 for the memory, 34.4 dB. It's much better temperatures compared to the Asus. Normalized, it's 59. Again, let's see, yeah, it's 360, 59. So if we'll do it, we'll adjust it to 60 because of the power usage is 28 watts less. So this looks reasonable. If we increase noise level a little bit, at least we should gain, or we should decrease the temperature by 1 degree. Again, it's not a compact card. It's almost same size and same weight as the Asus one. We can see it. Now let's have a look at the component cooling quality. Again, let's open this. So here we can see what I call a very good cooling. We can see the VRM chips, the MOSFETs, the VRM chokes, everything has a direct contact with the heatsink. The same on this side. All this part has a direct contact with the heatsink, plus the memory. There is no fuses on neither side, not PCI Express lane side, nor on 12-volt rail. But again, it's using MPS chips, and it's using MPS also for the memory. So in terms of quality, it's really good. The quantity is 18, power limit is the same. It has much better component cooling compared to the Asus one, much better temperature and noise, and much lower price. So compared to the Asus one, this is a better buy. But now let's go and see the next card, which is a Galax one-click OC. You can see this MSRP for this one is $1,000, which is a really good price. We can see the temperature for this card is a little bit high, 69 and 76 with 35.6 dB. But again, I estimated it here, something 380. It's coming around 71 degree. Because we have a little bit higher. In this case, even it can be 70. So again, like we can go a little bit lower. If 35, if you have super quiet case fans, that in that case you can hear the 35 dB, so you can increase the temperature by maybe 2 more degrees and have like 33 dB here and have your card distinguishable from your PC case fans. Let's have a look at the sizes. It's a very compact card, just 300 millimeters in the length, which will go in mini ITX cases. It's tiny card. Let's have a look at the component cooling quality. No fuses on either side. We can see that the VRM chips, VRM chokes on this side, they have a direct contact. Here we can see that only VRM chips has a direct contact. Of these two chokes is being cooled by the air. The same story here, only one VRM chip has a direct contact. Here one VRM chip has a direct contact, and here all VRM chips and chokes has a direct contact. So 1, 2, 3, 4 chokes is being cooled by the air, and plus, like here we can see there is no air coming. The air is blocked. So in this part, I don't know if on this part there is some air coming or not, but again, initially I put it very good, but I'm gonna to downgrade it to the good because of that chokes not having a direct contact. Here we can see the same MPS VRM chips, both for the GPU and the memory. So it's good. It's 60 of them, 400 power limit, and it's weighs half of the previous card. So this is really good option for mini ITX builds. Not too hot, but again, let's go on to review the other cards. The next one is a Gigabyte RTX 5080 Gaming OC. It says 1200 MSRP. Now let's have a look on the temperatures. Temperatures are not bad, 64 for the GPU, 66 on memory, a little bit high on the noise level, but again, if you will be running it on the stock, yeah, it will be quite noisy, but you can decrease it to 33 and have temperatures a couple degree more. Let's have a look. So it's 65.5, but again, if we look on the chart, it's around 68 normalized with 388 watts instead of 360. So again, like 35, you can go 33 and have here 70. There is no risk of damaging your card with the 70 degrees. Now let's have a look on the size of the card. It's not a compact card. It's 70 millimeter thickness, but it's not too heavy. Just by sizes it's bigger. Let's have a look. So this one using thermal putty instead of thermal pads. Here we can see that everything has a contact with the heatsink besides these two. But if I look it here, most probably it was cleaned to take the picture for the review. So here we can see that there's thermal putty on this heatsink. So everything, the thermal chokes, the VRM chips, everything has a direct contact, and there is no fuses. The Gigabyte previously used to have fuses. Now they give up the fuses. There is no fuses on either side. Let's have a look again. They are losing MPS. Again MPS on the memory side. So both component quality is good. The quantity is 14, which is a little bit less compared to the other cards. But again, if we'll have a look on the Super, which plus minus consumes the same amount of they have cards with 11 phases. Even the FE version has 11 phases and nothing happened with that cards. So 14 should be still more than enough for this card. On the component cooling, we already see that's very good. So the only downside that you have to use MSI Afterburner to have it a little bit less noisy, and $200 extra compared to the Galax, which has only good component cooling level. I don't know. You have to decide. I maybe personally will prefer to pay 200 more to get this one, to have more beefy cooler, to have a little bit better temperatures. But again, let's have a look on other cards. Maybe there is better alternatives. So the next one is a Gainward Phoenix GS. It has an estimated MSRP 1150. Let's have a look on the temperatures. Temperatures again in the range of being okay, 68 and 76, with the noise level of 37.4. Again, you can tune it, have a little bit higher temperature. Here we can say that with this level it's coming right on 70 degree, and you can make it 72 and have, instead of 35, like 33 dB. Let's have a look on the size. So here we can see it's not heavy card, but it's quite long card, 33 centimeters. You can use it in some mini ITX cases because it's not too thick. Let's have a look on the component cooling quality. Here we can see that VRM chips has a direct contact, VRM chokes has a direct contact. It's similar situation like a Gigabyte, like the Galax. Only the VRM chips here has a direct contact, and VRM chips on this side has a direct contact. The chokes are missing for thermal pads, like there is no thermal pads here. So I will downgrade this one to, or this one already, yeah. We'll downgrade it to the good level. And there is no fuses on either side, using MPS VRM chips, both for memory and GPU. 14 phases, 400 watts power limit. Yeah, like between the Gainward and Galax, I don't see any reason buying the Gainward. You're getting almost all the same, and the card is a little bit bigger, and it has less VRM chips, and the cooling of components is the same. Let's have a look on the next card, which is MSI Vanguard SoC with MSRP 1230. Again, we'll be comparing this to the Gigabyte one. They are close with the prices. Let's have a temperature. The temperatures are really nice. Just 60 degree, 35. Again, you can see here. The normalized, if it's 35, it should be 35, but as they are decreasing the power limit, the temperature is a little bit lower. So I recovered the temperatures to make them comparable with the same power limit. So it will be 60 degrees compared to the Gigabyte 68. You see the difference. Now let's have a look on the component cooling. So here it's almost the same weight, almost the same size, a little bit longer, but again same thickness. Let's have a look So here we can see again no fuses. VRM chip says direct contact, VRM choke says direct contact. This choke, VRM chips direct contact, VRM choke, VRM chips all has direct contact except this VRM choke. If I can see it correctly, it falls somewhere here. There is no pads, but for just one choke, which I guess responsible for the memory, let's have a look. Yeah, so these three, and this is for the memory, which is the load for the memory chokes is much lower compared to the GPU. So that choke should have less temperature. That's why I put it the good rating, but only one VRM choke is missing, the direct contact. But again, like the difference is just one. This is very good, this is good, but only one VRM choke doesn't have a direct contact. There's much better temperature, same price, almost same quantity of VRM chips, 14. The MPS on both sides, both memory and GPU. I personally will choose the MSI over the Gigabyte, to be honest. Let's have a look on the top tier MSI product, which is a Suprim SoC with the price of $1250, just like $20 more. Let's see what's the reason of being so cheap. Usually their cards are as much higher price. Let's see if they have a Suprim. Let's see. Yeah, for example here the regular one and like the gaming and Suprim, the difference 160, when here only like $20. So maybe they cut it some corners, just changed the facing of the card, the shroud, and then selling under the different name. So the temperature here we can see same, but it has much lower noise level. So this is so far the best noise level card. You have a lot of headroom of decreasing the temperature. So here we can see 59, but again adjust it. If this was 60, 59 with 360, it's coming somewhere here. Well, this one is really confusing me, because if it was 60 with 25, if we increased by 10 dB, it should be like around 55. But here we see the 55. It's only crossing this green line on 300, like 20 watts. If we go to 388, it's coming 61. So either they are measured this noise level incorrectly, because if we go back, there is a performance bias which runs like 31.4. It's already decreasing temperature to 58. That's why I put it very conservative, 57, if we will increase this RPM even more. But it could be theoretically like even 56 degree. So anyway, like this is very good card in terms of temperatures. Now let's have a look on the component cooling level. Again, a little bit heavy. They most probably using this 700 grams on heatsink. That's why it's run much cooler. Now let's have a look on the component cooling side. It looks like the same PCB as the Vanguard, no fuses. Again, everything has a direct contact except this one VRM choke. That's why it's getting the good rating, but again, only one VRM choke is missing. And the MPS on both sides, both GPU and memory. So for me, this is quite enough to enjoy your card, but like $20 more, definitely worth paying to get beefier heatsink, 2 more phases, much lower noise level. So definitely this is, if I will be buying the higher tier card up to now, this is my #1 choice. Just grab this one, and you will, and if you have enough space in your case, you will be more than happy. If you don't care about the premium products, then definitely go with Galax. But we have 3 cards left. Let's go and have a look. The next one is the Nvidia Founder Edition. Obviously it has a MSRP of 1000, and the temperature levels are quite high with this noise level. If I'm not mistaken, they are using the same cooler as the 5090, and even there have been some cards which was coming with the name 5090 on the shroud. So noise level is a little bit high, temperatures a little bit high. If you normalize these ones, here we can see it reaching 73 with 360. Here it should be 75 with 388 watts. Again, 75 is not too critical, but again, here we can see it's the hottest card up to now. And between these 2 cards, let's see, this again almost similar sizes as the Galax, a little bit heavy, less power limit, less power phases. Now let's have a look on the component. Yeah, we can see the sizes. So here we can see that not all VRM chokes has a direct contact, like this one is missing. So definitely this is getting a good level, because all VRM chips has a direct contact, but the VRM chokes, they don't have direct contact. Some of them are missing. Using both MPS on the both side, just 15 phases, 390 watts. Again, if you are buying the compact card and don't care about top tier products, definitely we have only 2 products, and from these 2 my recommendation is this one. Yeah, because we don't have any more cards for that price range, but for premium 5080s we still have 2 more cards to go. The next one is the Palit Gamerock OC with 1200 MSRP. Let's have a look at the temperatures. Again, the temperature 64, 68 on the memory, 37, not too good, not too bad. Let's have a look on the normalized. So the normalized 380 is coming around 65. I'll put 66, which is good. And the component cooling, the size is more or less the same as the other top tier 5080s. Now let's have a look component cooling. Here we can see again no fuses. Here we can see VRM chips, VRM chokes, has a direct contact from both sides. So this one is getting very good rating for the component cooling. The components is the MPS for both sides, and it has 16 phases, 400 power limit, 1200. Now let's have a look on the last card, which is Zotac AMP Extreme Infinity with $1,250, the same price as for the Suprim. The temperature is 66, memory in GPU with quite high noise level. The normalized temperature should be, is this one, it's around 69. Yeah, 69 normalized. Let's have a look on the component cooling. And the size wise is again very similar to the other top tier products. On the component cooling, here we can see that the all VRM chips, VRM chokes, they have a direct contact from both sides. Plus this is the only card which has a fuse on PCI Express lane, so if your card will fail, it will not damage your motherboard and other components of your PC, which is huge plus. MPS on both sides, again 14 faces. So the only card with the it should be PCI Express lane. So we already choose the Galax to be our recommendation for the, let's say, standard MSRP, which is $1,000. And for top tier ones, we up to now was the Supreme. Now we have two more. So comparing the Supreme with the Palit one, Supreme is a little bit higher. It runs cooler by almost like 9 degree normalized range, and the Palit has very good component cooling compared to the good. But let's not to forget that the only one VRM chokes which is responsible for the memory is missing the direct contract, so this could be easily counted as a very good tool. Size is a little bit longer, but again, if you are doing the mini ITX case build, like this one also could be a little bit bigger, so you have to consider the Galax. And in that case, the size is not too big. The difference, the weight a little bit, like 400 grams, power limit same, and this VRM phases are the same, and the chokes in the MSI cards is much better compared to the Palit. So I will choose the MSI over the Palit. And the next one is Zotac, same price, again 12 degree difference, which is huge. Again, very good to, let's say again very good. Size is a little bit shorter, same power limit, less VRM phases, but it has a fuse. So for me, as I never had the experience of failing GPU in my entire like 20 years experience of gaming and building computers, I will give up this fuse for the better temperature. And the better temperatures means less heat also on the VRM chips, because the whole heatsink is much cooler, and the less heat being put on the VRM chips, less stressed, and so they will last longer. So my recommendation for the top tier, if the price difference between these two is just $20, choose Supreme. But if in your country Supreme and Vanguard price difference is more than, let's say, $50 or more than $100, definitely you can go and buy the Vanguard. Even the Vanguard compared to the other cards still being my recommendation. So this is it. If there will be more RTX 58 cards coming to the market with the review, when we can go and see the components pictures and analyze them, I will make the part 2. And in description I will put all the links to the Amazon when you can order all these parts which I use, and all the cards which is available in the Amazon, because current supply is not so good. So if some cards will be missing, I will add them later. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.